Yeah, I think there's a bomb heading in my direction. And I would like to have my family with me, if that's at all possible. Wife, come with me. Yeah, that's it. Going down. All of us made it into the shelter, just a second before the blast. That was a close one. As long as we're all together, we can make it work down here. Okay, so let's regroup. All of us are here, because family is the most important. We have some soup, some water, playing cards and harmonica, so the essentials are here. We get ammo, but no guns, so I guess we'll just throw ammo at whoever will come. Do I feed them? No. That's gonna be rare occasions. Day 2. We might be safe inside these walls, but there are other problems to consider. None of us can sleep properly. We have to deal with this as soon as possible. Otherwise, we might end up falling asleep in the face of real danger. Like saucer men from Mars. Yeah, so I guess you'll have to deal with saucer men from Mars. Day 3. Let's just hope our yawning will be enough to scare raiders away, or save us from radiation sickness. It might work, never tested it, so it could. Probably won't, but it could. Where is water when Ted needs it? It's right there on the shelf, but I'm not gonna give it to you. Ration supplies? Do what? No. No thank you. Mary Jane used to be cheerful, but lately she's feeling a bit down. She clearly misses her music lessons. She keeps humming her favorite classical pieces, imitating the sound of tuba. She said she would die for a chance to play with it again. That we can do. That is something we can organize. Maybe we should consider letting her out for a short walk around the house above. Do we risk our daughter's life for her to maybe play a bit of tuba? Yeah, sure. Why not? Day 4. Is she dead? Probably. Mary Jane got very excited when we agreed to let her look for her tuba. She said if she can't find the instrument, she'll settle for anything else she can find. Like some shit music. We're pretty sure we prefer radio static or even the sweet sound of silence. We don't have a radio, so sweet sound of silence it is. Mary Jane went outside. Let's hope she hurries back soon. Well, we might use a bit of time without her. Why not? Ted looks like he's got one foot in a grave. I think you're exaggerating. Okay, Mary Jane is not here. Just don't tell her. Just don't tell her. A few more hours of coughing and we'll get used to it. Our ventilation fans have halted and no fresh air seems to be circulating through the shelter. We have to fix it before we suffocate like rats trapped by a professional and a very cruel rat catcher. Yeah, so we're gonna fix our ventilation with a flashlight. Someone will have to be really handy to do that. But I believe in their skills. Oh, Mary Jane's alive. I guess okay. Just don't tell her about the water. The obvious thing to do when a vent is blocked is to check what's blocking it. However, when you shine your flashlight on a hive of mutated insects, things usually go from bad to worse. The angry hive is gone, but the insect did some biting before they fled. Oh, and Timmy is hurt. Oh no. How awful. Are you dying? No, you're not even hungry. So there's no worries. It's day 5. I think we should at least prepare for an expedition. Yeah. Mary Jane was outside, she was fine, she can go again. We can't ignore Timmy's injuries. Are you sure about that? Because that's exactly what I'm going to do. Enough sitting around, it's time to visit the surface and look for some additional supplies. Maybe something survived the blast. Maybe someone is still alive. Let's find out. And who's gonna find out? Mary Jane. Yeah, you can eat, but don't tell Mary Jane. And we'll be fine. We can't ignore Timmy's injuries. Watch me do it. Are you dying of thirst? Or dehydrated? So, you know the deal. Mary Jane is out of it. This is a joyful time in a sea of grief. It's Timmy's birthday today. Just like last year, we waited until the last moment to get him a present. But this time our options are limited to whatever we can find in the shelter. What is he getting this year? You just ignore it. Just say you forgot or something. Or just gaslight him that it's not actually his birthday. That seems to work with kids sometimes. Time to grow up, Timmy. This ain't Kansas anymore and Santa doesn't exist. What? It's just a game. Santa does exist. He's real. I know that. There's no time. Timmy has to be treated for his injuries before it's too late. Does he? He looks fine. It says he's in agony, but it's just his face. He just looks like it. We felt like something was staring at us from the corner of the shelter. We think it's a rat, or at least it looks like a rat. A rat on a very good diet. We decided we need to do something about it, or to put it more bluntly, it's either him or us. So it's him. It's decided. Day 12, and Mary Jane is back. And she's sick. Okay, I guess you can drink. And Mary Jane, we're drinking for the first time. We surely weren't drinking without you. Surely not. One thing you don't expect is a band of people all dressed in green showing up at your doorstep and claiming they take from the rich and give to the poor. That's exactly what happened to us. Should we let those clowns in? They might provide some quality entertainment. Are we poor? Yeah, let's say we're poor. Let's let them in. Let's trust them. Because of course you should trust strangers in green that play Robin Hood in a wasteland. Yeah, sounds fine. Those merry folks were very kind. They noticed we didn't have a radio, and so offered us one. When we asked where they got it from, they said the 1%. We couldn't do anything about Timmy's wounds. Well, mostly I didn't want to do anything about Timmy's wounds, but that sounds better. They got worse and worse until eventually he got fed up and left. All that remains of him is a note explaining that we are lousy parents and that he will be back when he becomes the warlord of the wasteland. Good luck with that. Yeah, so Tim is dead. Let's eat. Who's gonna go? Yeah, Ted can go. You'll take the ammo so you can throw it at people. You'll be fine. Trust me. We didn't expect to get a phone call so soon after the atomic bomb drop. Yet here we are. We can clearly hear our phone ringing outside. It must be the public phone booth on the other side of the street. Should someone go and answer it? Yeah, I guess Mary Jane, you can go. When we answered the phone, we could clearly hear a gasp of relief from the caller. They introduced themselves as survivors from a nearby town of Hill Valley. We had started exchanging information when the call was cut short. Something must have gone wrong on their side. We hope they will get back to us. Or Mary Jane is just making it all up so we feed her. That's also a possibility. And that's why I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna fall into your trap, Mary Jane. Every new smell attacks our noses in this little shelter instantly. There isn't much we can miss. So when a single brick fell out from the wall revealing a tight opening, our senses were immediately invaded by a terrible stench. We should probably check that hole out and see what the source of the smell is. Yeah, check it, why not? But let Mary Jane do it. We looked into the hole fearing something might come at us with claws, fangs, or other mutated and sharp body parts, but nothing happened. Instead, we found a dead rat who was trying to break into a can of tomato soup. He failed miserably. We have a feeling we'll be luckier than him, so we confiscated it. We gave the rat a proper burial in an empty can. He deserved that much. When conducting our daily supply count, we've noticed that a soup can was missing. We're absolutely sure it was there just yesterday. That can only mean one thing. We have a soup thief among us. Now we just need to figure out who the culprit is. Who ate the soup? Definitely Mary Jane. Yeah, just blame it on her. It will be fine. We know what you did last night, Mary Jane. And we're so disappointed in you, young lady. We didn't raise you to be a nasty soup thief. A regular thief, maybe, but not a soup thief. And Teddy is back. While scouting the area, we noticed a young girl, cornered by a giant scorpion. It turned out those things are real. Yeah, of course they are. Giant scorpions? It's not a new thing. When she saw us, she frantically waved her rifle above her head. We figured she might be short of ammunition, so we tossed her some. I knew the ammunition will come in handy. She managed to fight off the vile beast and was grateful enough to offer us a gas mask for our trouble. Great, but we don't need it. Who will go outside? Mary Jane, of course. Of course she will. Enough of this plain, tasteless water. Dolores is really craving a cup of coffee. Well, Dolores wants a coffee, she can get it. We could use some extra supplies. The last time we went on a supply run, we noticed a damaged tank stack in the rubble nearby. How about we send someone to investigate? Yeah, Ted, get us a tank. An extra bit of firepower never hurts. We're more than happy to inherit a military-issue rifle from the tank. A young man paid us a visit today. He told us a story of his brave twin sister who went missing while spying in a nearby bandit camp. He said that while these circumstances are far from perfect, they were in fact meaning to contact us eventually and meet us. He believes his sister was discovered and is currently held captive in the camp. He has a few men, but he could use all the help he can get. Should we help him out? Dolores went for a coffee earlier. Yeah, so she can take out some bandits, why not? There is nothing more surprising than a knock on a fallout shelter door. Who could it be? Should we investigate and risk our very lives? That sounds like a good idea. Shall we open the door? Yeah, sure, we're gonna risk our lives. Why not? Who wouldn't? Turned out it was a nice mysterious fellow in a weird suit. He gave us some soup cans. This will help us survive the next couple of days. Ever since we jumped into our fallout shelter, we've been wondering about that other door in the shelter. Should it even be here? Where does it lead? It's high time we checked it out. What the hell? What's the first thing to do when you open a door leading to a place you don't know? Open fire, obviously. Bam bam, our bullets strike the wall and guess what? We hit a water pipe. We were able to fill a few water bottles with all the water that trickled from the bullet holes. We used to go to this little store for groceries. They always had their windows closed and a sign that stated, "We assure you we're open. We found some food left inside." Most food on the shelves was outdated and rotten. A lot of eggs were smashed on the floor. Guess what? Soup cans don't expire until 2050, so they are expired. Good for us. Plus 4 soup cans. We found a shelf with a big sign that read, "Everything for 99 cents. The only thing left were bottles of water. Expensive. Shine your boots and hoist the flag. The army is on the radio again. They're telling us to get our flashlight ready to signal the aircraft. It'll be flying over our area later this evening. If they see our light, they'll know where to look for us." A sleazy-looking trader carrying an ugly, scruffy bag on his shoulder paid us a visit. He offered us a simple one-time deal. For just 1 can of soup, we get the bag and all of its contents. We can't see what's inside, and the trader gives us angry glances every time we take a step towards a mysterious bag. Should we make a deal? A mysterious bag for a can of soup. Obviously, love loot boxes. As soon as the door closed behind the trader, the bag started to violently shake, emitting screeching, hellish sounds. Terrified, we backed up against the walls. When the beast finally escaped, it turned out to be just an angry house cat. The feline gave us a menacing look and promptly sat down in the corner to clean itself. Its collar says Sharikov. Is that his name? Yeah, so now we have a cat. Okay, one more mouth to feed. Ha, guess what? We already got ourselves our very own followed garden. We've got a bunch of mushrooms growing on one of the walls. They're big enough to be eaten. How about that? Should we prepare a mushroom feast today? Of course, eat a random mushroom from the wall. Why not? I always do that. We learned something today. Tomato soup is our best friend, and mushrooms aren't. Yuck. We've been hearing a lot of noises coming from our neighborhood today. Our guess is that there was a zoo escape and the animals are stampeding up there. It might be a good chance to hunt some fresh food. Who should go outside? Obviously Mary Jane is going for a hunt. That's not even the question. Too bad we never practiced sharpshooting. Every shot we fired in the direction of those animals that looked like two-headed cows was a miss. Let's hope we'll be on target next time. The siblings kept their word and visited us today again with a request. Seeing as they're slowly running out of space in their tent, their group is attempting to build a small camp for themselves. They already gathered some resources, but they need someone to help them chop the wood and build houses. And it's not gonna be us. Looks like Sharukov snuck out to hunt out in the wasteland last night. This morning we found a dead glowing rat on our doorstep. Sharukov seemed pleased with his gift for us and quickly expressed its disappointment when we threw it far away from our home. Nothing good will probably come from touching dead radioactive rodents though, so maybe we should have just left it where we found it. So this is what it's come down to. Sitting idly in the shelter with very few supplies and the growing sense of impending doom. If only there was something we could do about it, like breaking into our neighbor's shelter. We know the lock is broken and we saw her restocking the shelter before the bomb fell. Should we go and check it out? She and her children probably didn't even made it in there, right? Obviously steal from them. Steal from your neighbors, remember that. Always. We went, we got what we needed and came back. We're sure that the group will do just fine. Most probably. Yeah, absolutely. While trying to pet the little devil, we found a piece of paper on its collar with an address scribbled on it. Could its previous owner still be around and worried sick? Chances are slim, but maybe we should pay them a visit. Or at least, whatever left of them. Of course, yes, I want to get rid of this cat. We grabbed our new fluffy friend for a little stroll through the waste, only to immediately run into a couple of gentlemen dressed in trench coats, fedoras and shades. They gritted their teeth at the sight of the cat and said they'd be looking for it. Apparently it belongs to their dear old man, who loves it dearly. Before we could utter a word, they took Sharukov, thanked us and left. The cat didn't seem to mind, so maybe it's for the best. Of course it's for the best, we got rid of the bloody cat. Mary Jane goes to the wasteland. You can take a gas mask. Not that you need it, but you can cover your face at least. The wasteland is full of surprises. Like this man on the other side of our door, knocking and claiming that he is willing to offer a lot for decent ammunition. Shall we trade? Of course. Why not? What could go wrong? From one mysterious bag, we get a cat. So maybe we can get something more. A ferret, maybe. I don't know. Our visitor was happy to get some ammunition. In return, he offered us rations. It wasn't much, but something is always better than nothing. Yeah, I guess. It's better than a cat. When we heard a knock on the door this morning, we held our breath in fear, but we soon heard children's voices coming from outside. We decided to open up. It turned out the voices belonged to a pair of Girl Scouts. They used to sell cookies, but they have branched out and now they offer other items too. Smart girls. They offer an axe for a harmonica. Definitely. Definitely. Give me that axe. Why are you back? Why are you like this? To our surprise, we found Sharikov back in our shelter this morning. Unfortunately. We're not exactly sure why or how it came back. Is it our good care it appreciates? Our kind hearts, optimism? Or just our stockpile of soup cans? Only time will tell. A loud crash, a surprised shriek, and a bit of debris falling from our ceiling. Truly a recipe for a good start to the day. As it turned out, Sharikov found a new toy. A bit of innocuous wiring that had ripped out of the wall. Who knows what the cable's for? But our lights are still on, so it can't be that important, right? Should we take the wire away from our fluffy friend and investigate it? Well, he might die, so I might leave him. But I want to investigate. I want to know. We grabbed the cable and followed it to a rusty old truck parked in our neighbor's driveway. Upon opening the door, we were confronted with two men wearing huge headphones who looked extremely surprised to see us. They wiretapped our shelter when we were asleep, and they were listening to everything we said. We gave them hell and marched back into our bunker. Yeah, so someone is spying on us, and I think it has something to do with Sharikov, because I don't trust this cat. Mary Jane was supposed to be back in a few days. It's been too long. We fear something bad has happened to her. Not gonna say I'm surprised. I may have contributed to that. The agents who were spying on us are now at the door and want to explain themselves. Should we hear them out? Yeah, let's see what they have to say. They were agents, real. Live secret agents on a government mission. We saw their identity cards, briefly. They weren't listening in on us. It was the cat they were interested. They made a request too, wanting us to aid them with some of their top secret mission in the future. If we do that, they promise they will extract us to a government safe house full of supplies and donuts. Hopefully they come back soon with more information. During the night we heard some suspicious sounds coming from behind our door. When we peeked out in the morning we saw a leather suitcase. It has no address or name on it, but we're pretty sure it's meant for us. Should we open it? Of course, more loot boxes. Inside the suitcase we found some soup, but yuck, it expired a long time ago. We're not feeling very well. Some of us spent the whole morning using the bucket in the corner. We're not accepting anonymous gifts ever again. Open in the name of freedom, came a shout from outside our door. We weren't sure who claimed to be representing freedom, but we could hear it was a group of people, probably armed. Anyone who introduces themselves like that is probably planning to kill someone in the name of freedom. Should we open? Yeah, of course we should open. We should trust people. There's nothing that can go wrong. We regretted opening the door the minute we saw who was standing on the other side. Dark faces, rifles, and determined looks of a band of teenagers. We're doomed, we thought. Then, out of the blue, one of them asked us if we're with the Reds. We've never supported the Red Sox, so we confidently said that we weren't. The tension dropped immediately, and those nice young people gave us 2 bottles of water. They also told us to have no fear since Wolverines are around. We're not sure what Wolverines have to do with all of this, but we took their word for it. Yeah, as I said, they were very nice people. They gave us water. We didn't think we would get a chance to increase our food supply by simply playing a card game, but that's what we were offered by a man who knocked on our door today. 2 cans of food. We win, we get his 2 cans. We lose, we give him over 2 cans. Are we going to do it? For sure. Gambling always pays off. That man must have cheated. We lost, and before we could argue about it, the man left with our supplies. Huh, so gambling doesn't pay off? That's weird. Using a high-tech setup involving paper cups and yards of string, the agents rang in with our next top-secret mission. What will surely land us in the VIP bunker very soon. They want us to go on one successful expedition and write down what we saw in the journal. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Of course. We're both sick and fatigued. But Dolores can do it. Today we've met a bunch of people dressed in what look like Halloween doctor's outfits. They claim to be a field hospital, moving from place to place and attempting to help those hurt by the hazards of the wastelands. Their problem is some of their supplies get eaten by something that looked like a Sasquatch. They're asking us if we have any spare hydrogen peroxide. We do. We played a game of list the thing you hate the most. Yep, the list is very short, just this cat. And our neighbor's name kept coming up for some reason. That reminded us that the little weasel had a safe in his living room. We always wondered what's inside. Maybe now's the time to finally find out. But who will do the honors of stealing the possession of our arch nemesis? Ted, because he's the only one left. When we opened the safe, we heard a loud bang, and the room filled with thick, nasty smoke that smelled of rotten eggs. The bastard booby-trapped the safe. Sure, it slowed us down, but it didn't stop us from taking his most prized possessions. Take that, Ned. If Shirokov considers our shelter its home now, unfortunately, we might as well try to get along. We could try to carry it around and pet it on the head. All cats like a good pet, and Shirokov should hopefully be no exception. Otherwise, any attempt to touch the cat could lead to our untimely deaths. Should we try to play with him? No, never do it. And maybe he'll go away. We gave up on that crazy idea. We had a feeling this could not possibly end well. The cat seems to agree. Our supplies are scarce and our morale is low. You can almost smell the desperation in the shelter. We're pretty sure there's a small group of survivors nearby, mostly old folks from the retirement home. It shouldn't be hard to borrow some of their supplies. They're old anyway, and we need them more, right? Of course we need them more. Yeah, let's rob the old guys. We went, we got what we needed, and we came back. We're sure that group will do just fine. Most probably. Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't a hallucination. There really was a tank down the street. The vehicle was armored with wooden spikes, decorated with bloody skulls and bones, and fitted with a real heavy machine gun. It even had wheels. All this magnificent beast would need is a driver and some fuel. If I only had 5 soup, I could drive off in a tank. That would be awesome. Ted, you have to go for supplies. You'll take the playing cards, you might win something. We got scammed before, now you can scam people. The agents visited us in the middle of the night to remind us about their request to provide either a few soup cans or a few water bottles for their colleague in the field. If we do help them, we might get one step closer to a cozy government shelter. Yes, give them our supplies. They will save us for sure. I have no doubt. Our sorry excuse for dinner was interrupted by a raspy voice coming from outside saying, "Wanna buy a rock?" We calmed down when we realized the voice belonged to Old Man Jim, who used to live in our town. Well, at least we think he did. We just never quite figured out where he stayed. We should probably answer his question. It's impolite to keep people waiting like that. Yeah, for sure. I would like to buy a rock if I'm able to. Rocks? We love rocks. Mary Jane used to have a sizable collection of minerals, and we were all really fond of it. Even the simplest radioactive rock is a good start for a new collection. The one we chose is really pretty, and Jim didn't even want anything in return. He told us it brings luck, and that we should cherish it. Sharikov seems to be fond of our checkerboard. Its favorite game during stretches of extreme boredom and silence in the shelter is pushing the checkers pieces off the table as it gazes intently at whoever happens to be sitting the closest. The sound of checkers hitting the floor every 10 seconds is getting on our nerves, and we're considering taking the game away. Should we let Sharikov play with the checkers? No. No way. Maybe he'll go away now. Someone is at the door. We're a bit scared, but maybe it's a friendly face of an American soldier. Should we open? Of course, nothing can go wrong with strangers at the door. We take all the chances. The end? We were taken out of our home in the dark of night and hastily transported to what the agents called a presidential bunker. It's amazing. Sure, the walls are a similar shade of gray, but now we have a whopping 20 square feet more to walk around while we die of boredom. The extra bucket and newspaper supply is nothing to sneeze at either. All in all, it's definitely an upgrade. Life here will surely be worth all the trouble we went through. Finally, we can sit, relax, and let somebody else empty the bucket for a change. So it's the end. We got kind of saved. We got moved to a little better bunker. That's good enough for me. I maybe survived.